In a country where the top 10 chaebols, or family-run conglomerates, take up roughly 80% of the economy, Korea's tech startups are emerging as a new force to be reckoned with. According to Hyundai Research Institute, the number of startups has been on the rise from about 8,800 back in the year 2000 to over 31,000 in 2015. Total sales have also increased from around $157 billion back in 2000 to $191 billion in 2014. And as the country faces a greater need for new growth engines, startups are expected to take on an ever more critical role in the economy.
I think the biggest reason will be job creation, with machines replacing human labor as technology develops around the world. Existing firms may grow more in size, but that doesn't necessarily translate into new jobs. It's the startups that are creating more jobs. Also, as we inch toward the fourth industrial revolution, imagination will be key. We need to be able to fuse existing technologies with creativity, but that's hard for big companies to do. Startups will need to play that role, and only then will Korea have a future.
One startup experiencing fast growth is My Real Plant, located in Pangyo Techno Valley, the heart of Korea's tech startup scene. This father-son company, which launched 2 years ago, is a marketplace that brings insurance agents and customers under a unified platform. When customers request an insurance plan, it goes through an analysis system that identifies the best proposal, helping users understand what they're buying into, while broadening the customer base for insurance agents. The tech firm says it's come a long way from its humble beginnings.
The very first funding was very difficult. If I look back, the odds were against us, and I had to raise funding from a very difficult place. But I'm certainly thankful that it went through, and we were able to, use that initial funding to really, make an impact, or to start to make an impact. I shot a Facebook message to a venture capitalist, and he's like, "Why don't you come along? Why don't you come into my office in 2 days?" And I was like, "Okay," and I gave him my pitch. And in 5-6 minutes into the pitch, he basically said, "Let's do it." Until that moment, I had already talked to maybe 20 VCs.
Experts say apart from the initial funding, another obstacle that deters people from jumping into the startup scene is a perception that one failure can lead to near impossible recovery. This is one of the reasons why the government created a support program for college startups back in 2011 with the goal of empowering universities as a cradle of new business beginnings. Out of the 40 schools designated around the nation, Dongguk University has been in the lead for 7 years in a row now. Behind this is its ability to incubate innovative startups like Nalda, which uses drones to collect big data. The fledgling company was founded by 4 computer science majors from the school. After going through a selection process last year, it was able to earn a free office space and monthly financial support of about $4,500, which acted as a launchpad to commercialize this chip.
이 칩만 장착시켜 주시면은 한국에서 미국에 있는 드론을 조종하실 수도 있고 전 세계 어디서든 드론을 조종하실 수 있습니다.
Once installed, users can remotely fly their drones, collecting up to 72 pieces of information simultaneously, including sound, images, and particulate matter concentration levels. Nalda says of all the aid it has received so far, including state assistance, support from the university has by far been the best.
They give us a lot of attention, who we are and what we do. They constantly check in with us, and when we tell them what we need, they help us. So they pay closer attention to details. For startups, money is important, but having mentors can be even more important. When I ask for help elsewhere, the people that are involved are civil servants, so they don't have much business experience. But the professors here all have experience in startups, and they have good connections as well. That helps us a lot.
It's this kind of support that has helped these startups rack up a total of about $5.6 million in sales last year alone, while creating 115 new jobs. Even after graduation, students have access to further guidance.
I think students should have a lot of opportunities and go through their own failures within the university boundaries. That's why I think entrepreneurship education is a must at the college level. I really hope we can create a startup culture at our school. I hope that all our students have an open mind, are open to challenges, and have the required knowledge as well. My goal is to foster creative talent that society needs.
Experts also add that while the government has been in charge of startup support policies until now, the private sector needs to take a more active role in leading large-scale investments to create more quality jobs in a healthy startup ecosystem. Lee Ju-young, Business Daily.